Have you ever felt the crushing weight of having a voice, but being entirely unable to speak your own truth? Welcome back to the deepest secrets of myth. I'm Emma. Today, we journey into the haunted woods of ancient Greece, where a beautiful nymph named Echo suffered one of the most psychological torments in history. Echo was vibrant, witty, and loved to talk. But she made a fatal mistake. To protect her fellow nymphs from the wrath of Hera, the queen of the gods, Echo used her endless chatter to distract the goddess. When Hera discovered the deception, her punishment was swift and poetic. She stripped Echo of her free speech. From that moment on, Echo could never initiate a conversation. She was condemned to only repeat the last few words spoken by others. Imagine the horror of a brilliant mind, locked inside a prison of stolen words. Little did Echo know, her silent isolation was about to collide with a man whose soul was trapped in a completely different kind of prison. Enter Narcissus. Born of a river god and a nymph, he was a youth of such breathtaking celestial beauty that everyone who looked upon him instantly fell in love. But Narcissus possessed a fatal flaw: absolute chilling arrogance. He viewed the adoration of mortals and immortals alike with utter contempt. To him, no one was worthy of his presence, let alone his heart. Before his birth, a blind seer named Tiresias was asked if the boy would live a long life. The prophet offered a cryptic, haunting warning. He will live long as he never knows himself. In a world obsessed with self-discovery, the gods warned that for Narcissus, self-awareness would mean death. He spent his youth wandering the forests, breaking hearts without a single shred of empathy, completely oblivious to the shadow hanging over his destiny. One afternoon, while hunting in the dense forest, Narcissus became separated from his companions. Hidden among the trees, Echo saw him. The moment her eyes fell upon the beautiful youth, her cursed heart flared with an consuming passion. She longed to cry out to him, to pour her soul out, but Hera's curse held her throat tight. She could only follow him silently through the shadows, waiting for him to speak. Hearing rustling leaves, Narcissus stopped and shouted into the wilderness, "Is anyone here?" Echo's heart leapt. "Here," she answered, her voice echoing through the trees. Confused, Narcissus looked around. "Come," he called out. "Come," Echo repeated, stepping out from the shadows, her arms outstretched, ready to embrace the love of her life. But when Narcissus looked at her, his face contorted with disgust. He recoiled from her touch, shouting brutally, "Away with your hands! I would rather die before you ever possess me." Heartbroken and humiliated, Echo could only repeat his final cruel words, "Possess me." Spurned and deeply traumatized, Echo fled into the darkest caves of the mountains. Shrouded in shame, she refused to eat or sleep. Her body slowly wasted away from grief until her bones turned into stone. Nothing remained of her except her voice. To this day, she hides in the lonely places of the earth, a ghost condemned to repeat the words of strangers, a tragic symbol of unrequited love and lost identity. But the gods were watching. Nemesis, the goddess of divine retribution and righteous anger, heard the prayers of those Narcissus had scorned. She decided it was time for the arrogant youth to pay his debt to the universe. Nemesis guided a tired, thirsty Narcissus to a hidden pool of water deep in the woods. A pool so pure and undisturbed that it shone like a flawless silver mirror. As Narcissus knelt down to drink, he saw a reflection in the glassy water. For the first time in his life, he saw a face of absolute perfection. Not realizing he was looking at himself, he instantly fell madly, hopelessly in love with the image. He tried to kiss the water, but the image shattered. He reached out to embrace it, but it vanished beneath his touch. He was caught in the exact same trap he had laid for Echo, loving someone who could never love him back. He couldn't leave the pool. He starved, paralyzed by his own reflection, weeping as his own tears blurred the image of his obsession. Finally, the prophecy of Tiresias was fulfilled. Narcissus knew himself. and it consumed him until he drew his last breath, turning into a pale gold flower by the water's edge. In our modern world, we look into digital mirrors every single day, chasing the validation of our own reflections, while drowning out the genuine voices around us. We become Narcissus, ignoring the echoes who truly reach out to us. Are you loving reality, or are you just in love with your own illusion? I'm Emma. Stay grounded, but never stop looking at the stars.